Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines. Let me tell you, don't ever have a brilliant idea 15 seconds before you're about to go live on a morning show, because I had a brilliant idea. I'll tell you about it in a little while. But it distracts the hell out of you. It distracted the hell out of me this morning. But boom, I'm going to keep this together. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to. No, I'm going to tell you my brilliant idea, because otherwise I will not be able to focus on what we have to talk about in today's. There's so much stuff going on. But okay, have you gone to the market at the mercado and they have these wooden crates where you buy the fruits from? Well, I have one, and I'm going to show it to you, not today because it's filthy, but I'll show it to you one of these days. Several years ago, when I was doing my cardboard furniture and paper mache projects and stuff like that, I intervened one of these crates. It was made of wood, and I covered it with paper mache, and I painted it beautiful colors. And for the longest time, according to me, I was going to use it to store my shoes right at the entrance of the house. And it's not used for that. It's just used to store chingaderas, and it's covered in dust and so forth and so on. And like 10 seconds before the broadcast, I thought to myself, Epiphany, why don't I put a glass top on it and turn it into a lovely, easy side table? And I thought that was so brilliant. That's how small my mind is, really. But I thought it was so brilliant that I'm so glad that you gave me the opportunity to tell you that, because now I'm not as distracted. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our daily live broadcast from Facebook every morning, where we examine headlines, comments, ideas, topics, questions, any kind of information we can get our hands on to have an awesome life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. It is always great to see you. It is always great to welcome new friends to our cluster. So if you happen to be new, let us know. Let us know with the word new and in your comments, and then we will give you a proper welcome, and we'll do a little dance maybe, or we'll play the kazoo. We always keep the kazoo around for emergency situations like birthdays and so forth and so on. Let's see who's in the house. Oh my God, we have so many wonderful things to talk about today. It's not even funny. Let's see. Jose Luis says, yay! I love it. Good morning. Let's see who else is here. Oh, and of course, if you have something truly awesome and important to share, we don't want to miss it. So please add the letter Q to your comment. Kathleen didn't, but this is amazing. How wonderful to see a whale this morning. I understand they've been really, really happy, the whales. Fabulous, flavorful, fantastic, flawless, fluvial. Good morning, Rita. It's always great to see you. Let's see what else. Fix It was neutered yesterday. I love it. I watched a video last night on YouTube, Claude, of a kitty that takes his first poo in the sandbox, and he ends up being so exhausted that he just falls asleep next to it. It was the sweetest little thing. Let's see. Oh, yes, we got to touch base on that, my dear Logan, because things are happening. And oh my God, something tells me that Sunday Fun Day is going to be quite something. Let's see. Oh, Michael, don't get me there. I mean, because that makes two of us. Let's see who else is here. Doom, ba pam, pim, pam, boom. Uh, Hola from the shores of Angry Lake, Michigan at Silver Lake Sand Dunes. That sounds complicated to me. I don't know if you're talking about a disco bar or a football team or what, but I love it. I love it. Um, Thank you, Matthew. Many brilliant ideas are lost forever if they're not shared immediately. I don't know that my coffee table is something brilliant, but it was bugging the shit out of me. Joe has never said new, so I am saying it now. Wonderful. Welcome, Joe. Welcome, Joe to Coffee and Headlines. Yes. It's never late. It's never late. um, Raymond. Oh my God, Raymond, you're back. You're back. You're back. How are you feeling? How is our favorite baker?
El panadero con el pan. El panadero con el pan.
There you go, Raymond. It's great to see you back. Um, Everybody should have an emergency kazoo, Joe. You just never know when you're going to need to give someone a good kazoo job. That's why I keep mine handy. One never knows. Anyhow, let us get started with the news that have to do with the legalization of you know what, and have to do with López-Gatell, and have to do with Semana Santa, and have to do with this infernal radio station that lives inside of my mind. And I wonder if you have an infernal radio station too. So let's get started. So yes, yesterday we reported on Mexico's lower chamber of deputies' approval of cannabis use for recreational use. Now the news is starting to resonate beyond our borders. Excuse me. And it is expected that the Senate will approve the law without much delay. And the New York Times was quick to pick up the news in an interesting read that plays on the legislation's implication on the drug war. Indeed, as availability of cannabis has increased in the U.S. and given Canada's stance on its use, the impact of marijuana trafficking diminishes, with much of the drug trade now shifting to more powerful and profitable products like fentanyl and methamphetamines. On the other hand, the crop could easily become big business in Mexico, turning the country into the largest marijuana market in the world by population. So regardless on which side of this issue you're on, this is definitely happening, and it's happening soon. Now, this one is more commentary than anything else. In one of the recent press conferences that are done, excuse me for a second. Much better. In one of the recent press conferences that have to do with COVID, a reporter asked for proof of life that Undersecretary of Health Hugo López-Gatell was actually alive. As we know, he's been convalescing from COVID-19. And I don't know about you, but if my boss sent me as a reporter to a press conference to ask that question, I think I would be so freaking embarrassed of having the audacity to ask such a silly question in a press conference of national levels. Of course, the man is alive, and it seems kind of ludicrous that the government of Mexico would conceal this. And indeed, last night, Hugo López-Gatell made a video appearance on the daily COVID-related press conference, claiming that he is feeling much better and working from home, although he continues to test positive for COVID-19 after 19 days of being in isolation. But he's healthy, I'm sorry. He's completely recovered. He said, I have energy and enthusiasm to continue making advances in our vaccination program. So it is very likely that Hugo López-Gatell just happened to get a bad case of COVID, and that's why it's taking him longer to recover. But he also made a comment on the temerity of some news media outlets that publish things that are not true and so forth and so on. So it is what it is, and I look forward to seeing my future ex-husband back in the press conferences. Semana Santa is coming, and our state has made its stance clear as to the sanitary strategy we'll follow during the vacation period. But what about Nayarit? Antonio Rojas, Secretary of Tourism for the state, indicated that a technical committee is presently evaluating the situation to determine if hotels will be allowed to increase their occupancy from the present 50% allowed to a higher number. Needless to say, we can all anticipate that there's going to be a lot of people around in all the Bay during Semana Santa. It is expected. Some people have said that the coronavirus will spike during those days, but hopefully the spike will not be as crazy and horrible as it was during the Christmas holiday. Let's see what else we have. Let me stop briefly to take a look at some of your comments, because there is a lot of news that I want to get to. Excuse me. Let's see. We've seen all this. Yes. More good wishes. Yay, good wishes. This is all very good. On Monday, a guy in a pickup came by and was playing that exact song about the pan that you just played. Well, yes, it's everywhere, and it's a beautiful song. We've talked about this before. It comes from a movie, an old Mexican movie, and every time I hear it now, I just start dancing, and I start thinking of Raymond. Angelica asks, what about the place of the cartel with pot? Well, a lot of that is covered in the article by the New York Times. We used to say if Mexico legalized marijuana, we wouldn't have so many problems with the cartel. But I think the cartel is now busy selling other things. And I think once Mexico legitimizes things, let's say that you're a small farmer and you have permission to grow the weed, because this is going to become a very profitable business, you're going to want to process it and package it legally. Are the cartel going to prevent this from happening? We don't know. We actually don't know what's going to happen. It's a big and important question, and we're definitely not ready to answer it. But it's definitely coming. Even Presidente López Obrador has said that small farmers should be given priority to make this a booming industry so that they can benefit from it economically. He's even talked about exporting weed to other countries where it is legal now. That would make Canada, Mexico, and I believe Uruguay is the other country in the Americas that has legalized pot. Let's see. Make marijuana cheap enough to take the big money out of this multi-use crop. Absolutely. And that's the part of it. It is a multiple use crop. Lisa, we should compare notes. Because I have a long list of future ex-husbands. And I think you've met them, although I may not have mentioned them. Hugo López-Gatell is another one of my future ex-husbands. And Matthew's comment is very true. Vicente Fox, former Mexican president, wants to get in on the ground floor of commercial cannabis. He's been doing big billboards in cities, and he's already partnered with a company I think it's based in Monterrey, that hopes to become the OXXO of pot dispensaries throughout the country. So probably in the very near future, that's what's going to happen, that there's going to be this little tienditas everywhere that will be legitimate places for us to buy lollipops and gummy bears and all kinds of concoctions. How heavenly is that? Anyhow, there's a comment about Galleria Dante from Kathleen here. I don't know who went, but I had so many wonderful comments from yesterday. Thank you so very much. It was such a pleasure to to visit the gallery. And Stephanie says, "What about all the ex-wives? Let's be fair, girl. You bring up whoever you want to bring up, and you let me know who is your former ex-wife or whatever." John says that Maluma is his ex-husband. Good for you. Maluma is it's a little bit too young for me, but he's a good thing. He's a good thing. Rita brings up a fabulous idea. Snoop Dogg and Vicente Fox. Oh my God. Imagine the podcast or the talk show. I mean, that would be absolutely heavenly. Diane says, gotta love the marijuana corner stores in British Columbia. Well, all that stuff happened in the United States after I left Boston, but sometimes I have conversations with my Boston friends about how you can go everywhere and find, the darn thing. I'm just not used to that world. Anyhow, moving right on with the news, we have some interesting news about our governor, because apparently some reporters, foreign reporters actually, from MVS Noticias Jalisco, which is a televised news program produced by MVS or MVS, are claiming that they were removed from their post without severance pay, as in fired, due to pressure from Jalisco Governor Enrique Alfaro. MVS or MVS is a Mexican media conglomerate, and their Western office, MVS Occidente, has been quite proactive in its broadcasting and bringing up what they consider to be our state's most pressing issue, which is the constant disappearing of people. According to the reporters, they were fired because they created, the constant reporting created an uncomfortable situation for Alfaro's government, or so he was said to say. Of course, there are always two sides to the story, and we may never actually learn what happened there. But indeed, this is one of the most pressing issues in our state, and Governor Alfaro has brought up the issue of security and violence quite frequently in his public statements. With that said, let us dive into the weather. Snarky Weather says, I just sold a JPEG of my ocular sensor as an NFT for 72 million USD. I think this is a reference that I understand that the founder of Twitter sold his first tweet, and I don't even know how you can sell that for a large amount of money. So I'm not entirely sure what this reference is into. But what I can tell you as a fact is that it is 26 degrees right now out there. It feels like 27. That would be 79 Fahrenheit, and humidity is at 44%. Today we can expect a clear day through the day. Oh, clearer than my throat, that's for sure. High temperature of 29, low temperature of 18. Tomorrow, Friday, it'll be a clear day again. High temperature of 31, low temperature of 18. And Saturday, also a clear day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature 17. And what a good thing that is. Now, let's see what else we have. Let's see what else we have. We have a couple of questions. Do you think this weed issue will become an election issue? Oh, Joe, it already is, because, of course, there are several parties that are more in favor than against. And this is, of course, an issue that has political implications. Getting to the point or to the place of explaining what those are is a complicated thing, because parties in Mexico, political parties, are a complicated thing. I have been doing all my homework as the elections get near. We're now less than 10 days away, for example, in which all the parties have to officially announce who their candidate is going to be. And here in Puerto Vallarta, for example, one of the parties, the Morena party, is going nuts, determining who their candidate is going to be, and whether he is or she is a good candidate or not, and whether nominating someone implies having to return favors to important people later on. I mean, it's crazy. But yes, the weed issue has a lot to do with that. Let's see what else we have. That would make me laugh too. We laughed so hard when the marijuana dispensary in Colorado asked us if we had their rewards card. That would be absolutely funny. Congratulations, Alan, on that vaccine. I can't wait. Liz again commented on Superwalk yesterday. Love Claire and Jenna and Galeria Dante. They are such amazing ladies. They are just undeterred and wonderful, and everybody should get to know them. Moving right along with our news and moving into the leisurely stuff, I'd like to remind you that this coming weekend is a long weekend, and banks and government offices will be closed on Monday. Why is this? Well, on March 21st, Mexico celebrates the birth of Benito Juarez, and this is one of those holidays that gets shifted from one day to a weekend. And you're probably wondering, well, who the hell is Benito Juarez? I mean, you've probably seen him in your 500 peso bills. Well, Benito Juarez was a Mexican lawyer and a politician. He was the 26th president of Mexico and the first one who was of indigenous origin. A liberal politician, he's revered in Mexico as a preeminent symbol of Mexican nationalism and resistance to foreign intervention, having led our country through the French invasion that took place between 1861 and 1867. And to this date, he is the only Mexican person to be honored on his birthday. Nobody else is honored on his birthday. Some people are honored on their deaths, but Benito Juarez remains the only Mexican person to be celebrated on his birthday. Let's see. John Russell asks, any news on the second jab for over 60s? Nope, no news on that. And if there were news on that, we would have headlines. And if there were headlines, we would share them here. Let's see what else we have. Rita says music. Oh, what do you know? We are going to have some music. But first, let me tell you that, and this is Rita, this next news item is entirely your fault, in a good way, of course. Why? Because we have increasing pressure to release our music programs and our walking tours and make them more accessible to everyone. And yesterday, I took time aside to start making this happen. I started updating our walking tours without the usual comment to their own YouTube channel. I said updating, I meant uploading, which is ready. And it has the 3 latest walking tours so far. So we will continue to nurture the channel with other past walking tours, and we will eventually populate the website with them so that you can choose to access them either on YouTube or on the website. So these are the walking tours that we have without our commentary, without showing things on the screen. This is the raw deal, and you're going to be able to find them. Well, you can find them on YouTube now if you're adventurous, but if you are not, I will share the web page, the bookmark, so that you can find them, and then we'll eventually do one for Music Mondays, and eventually we will also do one for Taco Tuesdays. Before I dive into my final headline, I want to take a look at a couple of things. Alan says, any rumor in the news saying that our governor would make an attempt at the presidency? Of course he's going to make an attempt at the presidency, and it's not even a rumor. It is one of those things that everybody with a sane mind knows that Enrique Alfaro is being groomed to eventually attempt for the Mexican presidency. We don't know when this is going to happen, but it is definitely going to happen. And I think it's very clear. All right, Walking Tour Archive, says Michael. And Matthew says, I freaked out a little bit yesterday when I saw those old walking tours reappearing. Don't freak out, my dear friend. Don't freak out. It's just responding to what you have requested, making all the MAGA. Who is, MAGA. What is that about? Oh, this is about foreign policy. We don't discuss that shit here, because this is Mexico and we talk about Puerto Vallarta. I don't even remember what MAGA stands for because it happens in another country. We don't talk about that shit here. Let's see what else. Walking tours on YouTube. So glad to see this, Paco, how you continue to grow. Yeah, my waist continues to grow. Rita, we need to go on a diet. Michael, Michael and I are going to go on a diet together, I think. I'm going to stop going to his Thai restaurant. No, I'm just kidding. I could never live without my Thai food. Uh, Anyhow, I want to get to my last headline today, which turned out to be a mini Music Monday on a Thursday, because uh, Mexican always get across. Is that what MAGA stands for? You're playing a joke on me, Ellen. um, Anyhow, I don't know about you, but I have this radio station. Every morning, I wake up. No, not every morning, but quite frequently. Quite frequently. Okay, enough with the MAGA. Guys, this is not a place to discuss U.S. politics. I don't give a damn about them. Well, I do, but we're not here to talk about foreign politics. Please, just no politics that have nothing to do with Mexico. Just go away. Every morning, if not every morning, most mornings, I wake up with a song in my head or a piece of music in my head. And a lot of times it's music that I recognize. And a lot of times it's just some piece of music that I don't know the title. If I don't know the title, it drives me crazy because I wish I knew the title and I start thinking, well, where does it come from and so forth and so on. And if I know the title, I will immediately try to play it. And of course, I did not let me set up the audio that I want to share with you because I want to show you what I woke up with in my mind today. And I think I can play it now, and it sounds like this. There you go. Now, most of you were too young to know that rola or that tune, but it is actually The Sound of Philadelphia. Uh, and The Sound of Philadelphia was this amazing hit in 1974. It was produced by Gamble and Huff, an American songwriting and pop and production team. And the song was written at the time as the theme for a television show called Soul Train. And it was the first TV theme song to reach number one on the Billboard Hot 100 and the first disco song. Hold on. Oh, my throat is all over the place today. It was the first disco song to reach that production or that place on the Billboard list. And there's interesting anecdotes on the song because Don Cornelius, who was the creator and host of Soul Train, did not want the song to be called Soul Train. And then there are certain versions of the song that if you listen to them, you know, the verse says, Soul Train, Soul Train. But it's not like that in the radio release because Don Cornelius did not want to take anything away from his own show. But he later on regretted that he did not want the song to be called Soul Train. And that's why the song was released as The Sound of Philadelphia. Why do I love that song? Well, I was 12 when it was released. And at 12 years of age, I was already obsessed with orchestral music. I mean, I was already a kid that went to the symphony, and I loved my pop music, but I loved my pop music that had lush orchestra arrangements. And this song has just the most gorgeously designed, constructed, and performed horn arrangement, having an awesome conversation with the string section of the orchestra. And because I know what the song is that my evil radio station was playing, I'm probably going to be playing Soul Train all day long today. And I will leave you with the bookmark so you can also play Soul Train, or rather The Sound of Philadelphia all day long if you so desire. Let me take a quick look at your final comments. Matthew says, earworms, absolutely. They are beautiful and horrible. Let's see what else. Tony says acronyms are proliferating and I can't keep up. You know, I have a hate relationship with Tony. You know, every time I see somebody write EZ, I know it's Emiliano Zapata, but it's like, you know, spell it. And there's a ton of those. Like the other day, what was it that we were laughing about? Was it 5D for Cinco de Diciembre? Somebody wrote. Anyhow, something like that. my sister says Maria Leonor Ojeda is my sister, of course, and she says the sound machine. Yes, that's what it was called, the Philadelphia Sound Machine. That's what what the production team was called. Uh, did I have my roller skates on when I woke up? No, but I wish I had. That song is not bad to wake up to. Oh no, it's a beautiful, cheerful song. I'm going to be playing it all day long when I'm doing my house cleaning and stuff. Rita, who's a Philly girl, says Gamble and Huff. Good for you. Um, let's see what else we have. Jose Luis says, roll up another for me. I love it. Um, and Sherry says, I recognize that song. And that means, yes, we are old. We are. But it was a fine song. It was a fine song. There's another orchestral song that used to just drive me to tears at how wonderfully built it was. And that was called Manhattan Skyline. And Manhattan Skyline comes from the soundtrack for Saturday Night Fever. And it's just uh, a beautiful instrumental. Oh my God. Do I have to make confessions on this one? I do. I do have to make confessions on this one. Did I ever get a bottle of the Taco Bell wine? The answer is yes. Not only did I get one, but I got two bottles of the Taco Bell wine. And we had ambitious plans to open them and have a wine tasting at one of Michael's restaurants, at the Mexican restaurant. And I had said to the people that provided the wine for me, yes, you guys are going to be invited, and so forth and so on. And I kind of cheated because on Christmas, I was invited somewhere with some friends, and I brought one of the two bottles as a surprise. And we opened it, and it was not very good. It was actually so not very good that the other bottle of Taco Bell, what was it called? Jalapeno Noir, sits in my wine cellar on top of my refrigerator unopened. And I actually don't know if and when I'm going to go to it. But that's the story of the Jalapeno Noir. Um, you know, go Taco Bell, but I am so very happy that we have wonderful Mexican and South American wine to choose from here in our little town. Let's see what else we have. Oh my goodness. Alliance says, I Say a Little Prayer is a song that's been playing in my evil radio station for ages. What a beautiful song. What a beautiful song. I love that song. It's one of the classics from Burt Bacharach. And it's wonderful because of all the odd meter, and I would love to talk about that song one of these days on Music Mondays, and the music of Burt Bacharach, which is absolutely delicious. Um, let's see what else. Let's see what else. Uh, yes, a sensitive topic. Yes, yes. Use the jalapeno noir as salad dressing. I will probably end up cooking. I will probably end up cooking with it. And I suppose this is a good way or a good place to end our broadcast. As always, it is a pleasure to get together with you, and I thank you for your company. And tomorrow is Friday. We'll have more news to share. Between now and tomorrow, or the next time that we get together, please stay kind, stay calm, stay happy. Enjoy those earworms. Send kudos to your future ex-husbands and wives. And as always, stay in touch. Have a terrific day today.